Hey guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the review for you of the Logitech Harmony Ultimate TV Remote setup. The kit consists of the Harmony Touch remote, a charging stand, as well as the Harmony Hub itself, which not only communicates to the devices that you have it connected to, but it also allows you to pair multiple remotes to the same setup. And from what I've heard about the Harmony remotes in general have been all great things, and I'm very excited to check it out this time. It kind of eliminates the fact that you have so many different remote controls that you're going to have to find, control each different thing, but instead unify it and allow you to control everything from one remote, which for complex home theater setups in general will make things so much easier. So as you can see, I have cracked open the box. Let's take a look at all the things that they have included. So first off, you've got the Logitech Harmony Touch remote, which is the most featured packed top-of-the-line remote from Logitech. Looking at the hardware, you can see it is very ergonomic. You also have a 2.4-inch touchscreen, and all the buttons do light up as well. But in general, I would say that the overall style of the remote itself does look pretty damn good. Next up, you've got the Harmony Hub, and what this does is allow it to have RF capabilities, which is just radio transmission, and it allows you to use your Harmony remote and trigger devices even if they're inside closed cabinets or walls, but also control Bluetooth gaming consoles, so it pretty much just communicates with the systems. Next up, you've got a charging cable for your Harmony Touch. It is very stylish, and I think it is a very useful tool. You can just have it set in your home theater setup and keep the cables out of the way, looking very tidy. However, you can still charge your remote via micro USB. And speaking of that, they have also included a micro USB cable. While during the setup process, you will need to use it. Moving on, they've also included two micro USB to wall adapters. One is for the Harmony Hub, and one is to power the dock that allows you to charge your Harmony Touch. And they've also included two mini IR blasters to place in different spots if you need them. Last but not least, as always, you do get your setup guide, warranty information, product information, and in this case, I definitely recommend you check them out, but mostly setup instructions are online. So now onto the remote itself, you can see that it is very beautifully designed with all the curves around it, and I definitely think it is also extremely ergonomic. In general, it isn't really that thick at all, but it fits very nicely in the hand. You've got your commands on the top and the bottom, but also that 2.4-inch display. But looking at the top, you've got your play pause, your skip, stop, and also the record button, as well as the off button for the remote itself. And you also see the capacitive touch home and favorite buttons. On the bottom, you've got more of your navigational switches, exit, menu, volume, channel, your directional pad, mute, back, DVR guide, info, as well as 4 colored buttons that you can customize what they do. And here is the 2.4-inch display. It is a touchscreen, and I definitely think the quality is actually pretty good. It isn't anything like a Retina display, of course, but it's a TV remote. What do you expect? It does have color, and it definitely gets the job done. And from my usage, I would say the touch response did work good enough. Another great feature I noticed is that they all have backlit keys, making it very easy in the dark to still navigate through your controls using the remote itself, and you can also adjust the brightness of the backlit accordingly. On the back, you also have an IR receiver, and that is really cool as, for example, during the setup process, if a device is unable to recognize a function, you can grab the original remote of the product and teach it the function based on the command. And located on the bottom of the controllers, you've got your 2 connectors in order to allow it to charge via the docking station, and you also have a flap that has access to your micro USB port, also for charging and syncing. Like I said, I'm actually a huge fan of the charging dock. It keeps the cables away, or at least hides them a little bit better, but at the same time, it makes it very easy to pick up or put back your remote while keeping your setup nice and tidy. The Harmony Hub can also be stored away in the cabinet and still be able to communicate to your devices through RF. So now it's time to give you guys a walkthrough of the actual software or the interface of the remote itself. I did say that this is Logitech's top-end remote with the most features in it. And here you can see is all the devices I have added. You can also add activities that will trigger certain things on and off. I've got my Chromecast, my PS3, and my Apple TV. On the bottom, you've just got your simple menu pull-down tab, and on the top, you've also got your capacitive home button. There's just a look at the settings. You can also pair these with the Philips Hue lights if you have those. And from the remote itself, it allows you to control settings not only of the actual remote itself, but also some of the devices that are connected to it. So here, for example, there's the vibration on the touch. There's also a tilt center, so every time you pick up the remote itself, it actually turns on the display, which has worked very well for me. Taking a look at the activities, you can also add some different functions, set icons. You can also even change the background by uploading one from My Harmony on the computer. And as always, if you ever decide to change these settings or add a device, whether it's on your computer or your mobile device, it is connected to the Harmony Hub and that will pass it through to the remote, enabling it to take advantage of the settings that you may have just changed. On the home menu, you pretty much just got your home with all your activities, but also your favorites tab, but that is only if you do have it connected to a cable box. In my case, I do not, as I am upstairs in my room. And the first time you actually toggle an activity, in my case it is a game, it will actually make sure that everything has been turned on correctly, and it will still allow you to navigate through certain things such as the buttons that you'll normally have from your PlayStation device. Last but not least, there is also touch functions for everything, whether it is volume up, down from swiping down, back and forth, but for me, I just kind of stayed away from that. Like I said, a lot of these features, settings, and activities can also be controlled, edited, and accessed from your mobile device through the Harmony application, and thanks to the Harmony Hub, you could do a lot of the same things that you can do from your remote straight from your smartphone, which in many cases you will have with you. I would now like to walk you guys through the online setup and configuration panel. All you got to do is go to My Harmony and also create an account and link your hub to that account. And from there, after you've got everything set up, in my case, I'm not going to go through the setup process as it does walk you through that. Here's the actual menu that gives you the options to what devices you like to add and remove that you have added and linked with your Harmony Hub. And also configure the major settings, and what you're trying to do is let the hub know as many things as you can, such as the way the TV works, the input works, the power settings. So for example, under my Apple TV, I have the power settings set to always on. That just allows the Harmony Hub to know that I do always have it on and that it doesn't have to turn it on. Under activities, you're able to add quite a few smart functions. As you know, these activities are what are going to show up on your home page, so they're pretty much just quick toggle settings here. So there I've got play a game, watch Apple TV. So by making the activity watch Apple TV would of course switch it to the input that the Apple TV is located. Like I said, you will have to tell it which input it is plugged into. So here's just the options for the activity types, and you can see that the interface makes it very nice and easy, as well as quick to access from the homepage of your Harmony remote. In the customization, you can go as far as to pick the icon as well as the name, and like I said, you can also change the background of what your remote actually shows, which is pretty cool. And here's just to check off what will go under the watch activity, but also be able to configure your settings. So you can see under play a game, there's viewer settings. It will display picture under the input HDMI 2, and my PS3 is also connected via Bluetooth, so that will also trigger it to turn on when I select the play game option. If you also like to go further into the details, you can go customize this activity to add an extra function, a delay for example. So there you can see every time it turns on, it will power on the PlayStation 3, power on my Insignia TV, and also set the input to input 2. And when I turn it off, it would automatically turn off those two devices. But it would also agree to the settings that I have set for each device under devices, which in my case, like I said, the Apple TV has been left always on. You're also able to customize the button under the Harmony remote. Like I said, there are quite a few buttons on the bottom, and you could pretty much change the settings or functionality to make it much easier to access certain things that you'll be accessing most. And here's just your major settings such as renaming, Wi-Fi, and stuff like that. So to conclude, I will say that this definitely did work very well. It pretty much confined to all the settings I've set it to, no problem, and it also allows you to very easily toggle the settings and edit the settings from your mobile device as well. I definitely love this product, and I think that it is reminiscent of all the hype that is going around it on just how good the Harmony remotes are in general and how much easier and clutter-free it makes your home theater setup. However, I will say the only thing I didn't like about it is the online setup sometimes is a little bit gimmicky due to all the plugins that have to be working in order for that application to load up, as well as the $350 price point of this bundle, including the hub and the Harmony Touch remote. However, as you may know, they do make many other controllers as well, so I definitely recommend you to check them all out and decide what is within your budget, as they do all have quite a few features and some of which would suit your needs at a lower cost. Like always, a link to purchase will be right in the description section, and a big thanks to Logitech for sending this out for reviewing purposes, and I'll see you all in the next video.